I think if we show this video, a lot of people are going to really rethink the use of IVA, or intelligent video analytics, in some of these type scenes. One of the things we see with most video analytics is the ability for the camera to identify and track multiple objects and then to maintain the autonomy of those objects as they come together close and separate back out as individuals. One of the tests we did was pretty amazing to see people, lots of people in the field of view, vehicles coming and going during the day, at nighttime, and then we did a different test which we all kind of found amazing, was a very large group of people moving together in a tight group through a field of view of a camera, and the camera was able to identify all the individuals in the group. And I think if we show this video, a lot of people are going to really rethink the use of IVA, or intelligent video analytics, in some of these type scenes.
All right, I fully agree, Steve. I'm going to go ahead and kick off this this video here and start playing. Joe, can you kind of set the scene for us? What's about to happen?
Sure. So we have multiple people in the scene that are just wandering around the field of view. We have multiple static vehicles, and then we have Steve in a vehicle driving around. And as you can see, the camera has no hesitation classifying each object, tracking that object, even with multiple occlusions in the field of view.
I think what's important to remember here is that we're all crossing paths, we're all walking around, and like Joe said, it's keeping everybody's unique identifier, in other words, or it's maintaining everybody, even though when we come together and then disperse, you're seeing that maintain people, and especially when we introduce the vehicle and do things like, I'm about to walk, I believe I'm going to walk the side of Steve's vehicle. I think most IVA cases, you're going to have one object there. Yep. And I think this does a good job of illustrating that I'm a person and walking next to an actual vehicle, which is something just not necessarily from an alarm condition perspective, but what the power behind this is with literally no calibration.
And it's good to note that Steve's truck is a dark color and you're wearing a dark color sweatshirt, and it did not hesitate, the classification of both those objects moving together.
Let's shoot at nighttime.
All right, let's go ahead and switch to nighttime.
And this camera is a Starlight, so again, it is producing a very good image with very minimal lighting. Again, what we were seeing with our naked eye versus the camera was a much darker image. So, the Starlight really produces a great image at night.
And this scene is a great example of how well this camera does. We all know the pain of video analytics and lighting, headlights, any type of lighting in reality that's moving. Analytics historically always struggled, while you'll see in this video that this camera is just on point with classification and following all these objects. Yeah,
and again, most analytics is going to consume headlights and shadows, and it's going to try and, as far as the camera's perspective, it's part of the object because it's moving, right? But in this case, you don't see that. It's maintaining its accuracy around the actual object itself. Steve just turned on the headlights. It didn't affect anything that's moving and within reasonable range. I think at nighttime what we saw is towards the far back where Steve's car currently is, if that was somebody that wasn't active or moving too much in a static, more or less, those are going to be harder to detect. But again, this is IVA Pro Buildings pack, which isn't necessarily a perimeter, right? That's a whole nother thing.
It comes standard on the 5100i as well.
Right. Yeah. And like this is right out of the box, no calibration. This is very, very difficult scene that traditionally would take a lot of calibration and a lot of time to get something accurate.
And you'd be setting up during the day and coming back at night to do setup, and even then it would be a sort of hit and miss, where this out of the box setup from day to night.
Looking at the side of the building, a pretty well lit area. And again, the whole goal here was to see what happened when a
Yep.
bunch of individual targets enter the
condensed.
scene as one big object, and then watching what happens with the video. Now, this did have that same zone on it that we had had on the other video, so you'll see that go into alarm as well at some point in here. But we enter the scene as a big group. You see all the individuals in the group identified as an individual box and an individual upright person, and then as we turn around and come back, we separate.
Yep.
And it maintained that integrity of all those individuals as we separate and come back out from that little corner back there.
Yeah, and the fact that it took that group and was just analyzing it down to the point where it was identifying multiple people was very impressive. And then, getting back to that end, to that doorway, and then breaking out and coming back across, we see how well it does with picking everybody up.
So daytime, nighttime, difficult targets, difficult lighting, difficult things. The 5100i with the Building Pro pack is really exceptional when it comes to this and that price point class of that midline, mid-tier camera.
Absolutely.
So if somebody would want to get a demo or have us come out and demo a product like this and show them how easy it was, how would they get in touch with us?
You can reach us at support@midchest.com.